Hey, are you ready? I'm ready. Let's learn something new together and let's improve our lives. By the way, if you like this video, I want you to consider giving it a like, and please subscribe to this channel. My name's Matt Easton. I want to be your new best friend. If you want more tips on how to be successful both in business and life, give this channel a follow. I want to focus on our mindset and kind of the psychology of handling objections. And there's a reason why I said handling versus overcoming objections. I believe in my heart of hearts that all of this kind of legacy training around overcoming objections, it just flat out doesn't work today. And when we think it's working, we're still getting these deals despite the fact that we're trying to overcome an objection. Like if we think about our personal life and our relationships that we have with our loved ones, if we went into those relationships constantly trying to overcome everything, those relationships would quickly erode and quickly fall apart. But at the same time, we still need a skillful practice to handle these objections, because we need to save our clients, our customers, and our prospects from themselves a lot of times. They'll get hung up on something that, yeah, maybe it is something that we're lacking, or something in our contracts, or a feature in our product that we don't have that they think they need to have. But in the grand scheme of things, holistically, we're the right fit for them. So we need to be able to really learn how to be comfortable in those uncomfortable situations and work through some stuff. So I just want to chat with you guys for a few seconds about that. Let's talk about the wrong way people try and quote unquote overcome objections. First one, the most obvious one is, hey, you don't need that. Hey, do you guys have a 6-month contract? Oh, you don't need that. 6-month contracts are no good, right? Because if you have a 6-month contract, by the time you get this thing installed and up and running, 6 months is up and then your price goes up. We try and create some sort of witty or clever comeback because these objections are things that we hear all the time. It's very few of the times do we get, blindsided or sucker punched with something that we haven't heard unless it's our first day on the job. The other thing that we'll end up saying a lot of times is some derivation of ours is better, right? Let's say somebody's talking about a competitor and theirs has a 4K reporting dashboard that comes in blue. You don't want a 4K reporting dashboard in blue. You want a 2K graphical user interface that's the classic green from the 1970s. We come up with some sort of witty, clever, you don't want that. Again, it becomes a reflexive kind of knee-jerk reaction on our part because we've heard this before. It's not our first time somebody's told us they want a 4K graphical user interface dashboard that comes in blue. If it's a weakness in our product, we hear it a lot. And then the worst thing that we end up doing, the kind of default that unskillful, non-certified master sales consultants do, is after we've tried to outsmart that person, if they hang in there, we immediately very quickly pull the eject button on the plane because there's just a little bit of smoke here, and we pop out of the cockpit with something foolish like, well, what can I do to get your business, right? We try and overcome this objection by lowering the price. And that doesn't work. Again, if we think that that's worked, if you go back in your head to deals that maybe you've brought senior leadership in and it required a discount in the price, I get it that you got the deal, but there could have been a more skillful way to get that deal, both for yourself and your client. Because when we drop our price or add in a bunch of free options or something to overcome an objection, instead of handling or dealing with and talking through that objection, what we're doing is positioning ourselves to have a customer that's never truly happy, okay? So I want to just talk to you guys about that mentality that you need to have, and this is so much easier to talk about than it is to do. That idea of being comfortable and hanging in there in uncomfortable situations. The first thing that, as your friend, as your coach, as somebody that hangs out with you every month and every week, I just want to tell you, because you guys don't get a chance to hear this kind of stuff very often, 90% of the things that you guys are hearing aren't objections at all. They're complaints, okay? And there's a huge difference between an objection and a complaint. An objection is something that needs to be addressed or handled or at least talked about in order for you to get the business. A complaint is just that. I'm sorry, you guys are a fantastic group. You're intelligent. Your company is awesome. Your solutions are awesome. You're extremely good looking. All of that said, there is no perfect company. There's no perfect person. There's no perfect solution out there. People are always going to complain, okay? Especially like in the B2B world. They got to have something to complain about. Man, we've scheduled the meeting for an hour. I better complain about some stuff. Hey, we can talk about that on another coaching session. Maybe you're scheduling your meetings too long. Maybe you're going through too many slides in your demo and you're giving them too much stuff to complain about. But just realize it's just a complaint, okay? The other thing, and this is going to be so hard for you to do, and we can talk through this a little bit. Get in the habit of just agreeing and moving forward. I get it. I hear you. I understand, right? Do you guys have a 4K graphical user interface in blue? No, we don't. Oh man, that sucks. I get it. Right? And just keep moving through things. For some reason, we act differently in our sales career, in our business career, than we would in our personal life. And in your personal life, for example, if you've been married for any amount of time, over a week, you start to rapidly figure out that, hey man, I'm not perfect. My spouse isn't perfect either. But we can have a pretty darn good relationship, but the road to disaster is we're going to argue about every single thing, and I'm not going to let any little thing go, okay? And you guys have to realize that a lot of these things that you're hearing, most of them, 90% of them, that person's still going to do business with you. So if you start to, well, you don't need a graphical user interface. You don't need real-time reporting of all of the people on the training program to be able to see what module they're in real time. That's babysitting them, okay? Even though that's actually true, if I come up with that response, I'm just creating a fight. I'm creating a little micro argument. So just agree and move. Man, I wish I had a way that I could go in and see when Dave was taking all of the training courses, exactly what device he was on and his GPS location when he was doing it. I hear you. And let it go. It doesn't mean they're not going to do business with you. Here's the cool thing about objections. Well, it's not cool, but it's something that's to our advantage. If you're at all skillful, even a tiny bit skillful in your sales process, and you agree and move forward on an objection, if it's a complaint, they're not going to bring it up again. Or they might, but it's not going to stop them from doing business with you. If it's a real objection, all of them, 100% of the time, if you're even slightly skillful, that prospect, that business, that person that you're working with will bring it up again. It's not your job to solve it right then. And when they bring it up again, this is what I'm talking about in terms of saving our customers. Just out of curiosity, why do you want to be able to see all of the associates in the training and where they're at and what module? Well, we're afraid that they won't take the training. Got it. When you say you're afraid that they won't take the training, what was kind of your goal? If you don't mind, if we could kind of go back to the beginning of our conversation, what was your goal to have them trained? Well, we want them to be more skillful and effective, and we need them to close more deals. So is it that you need the deals closed, or is it that you want to monitor them? Well, I guess the deals closed would be the most important thing, but both. Now, when you say both, why? Just out of curiosity, why do you say that? Well, we've had training in the past and it didn't work, right? Well, did it not work because they didn't do it, or did it not work because they did it, they went in there and they did the training and it was the wrong training? Well, I have a feeling it was because they didn't do it, and that's why we want to track everybody right now. Now you're having a conversation. And guys, it's so easy for us to talk about this on this session right here today. Oh yeah, that seems simple, but it is so difficult when you're facing a prospect and they're talking to you about something that hits you. It hits you right here because it's a complaint that you've heard all the time. When the rubber meets the road, when it's game time, when you're on stage, when you're in that boardroom, having the courage. Tell me more about that, right? And then another thing. Ask them for solutions, right? Well, instead of trying to talk them out of wanting the thing that they want or talk them into something better that you have, well, you don't want reporting because we have weekly live sessions and you'll be able to see your people on the live sessions. And Matt will be talking to them in a live setting. Instead of doing that, ask them for, so what are some of your thoughts? Well, I just want to be clear, you guys don't have the reporting. No, we don't. And I know it's important to you to make sure that the training is effective, what are some of your thoughts on this? Well, I mean, ideally it would be great if we could have the reporting, but you know, if there was any way that senior leadership could just have visibility on it. When you say visibility, just out of curiosity, can you give me a specific example of what you were thinking? Well, I mean, if our board could just know that the people were using the training. I mean, it's interesting that you say that. Because of the fact that you said you want them to have visibility, would it help if senior leadership not only had access to the platform, but could pop in on our weekly live sessions? Oh, you have weekly live? Yeah, we could walk through. When you can get your prospect talking through an objection, it's a no-lose for you. Even if you get to the point where they don't have any ideas, you don't have any ideas, and it seems like, man, if I don't give them a 6-month contract, I'm not going to get this deal. Remember, there's 8 steps, right? Remember step 6. And step 6 is just simply ask them, Dave, I want to make sure that I'm on the same page. I want to make sure that I'm clear here. Is the fact that we can't do a 6-month contract, is that stopping you guys from moving forward with this package? Right? Well, no, but it's not ideal. Hey, I totally get it. Noted. It's something I'm going to bring back to our legal team and our CFO on this. But hey, I really appreciate you guys being flexible on this. We're going to do the 3-year agreement. Right? Ask them if it's stopping them. We never do that, by the way. We get into this back and forth with objections and we never stop and go, whoa, time out. It's the fact that I can't give you real time with GPS tracking location and what device they were on, visibility of your people, essentially a real-time 24/7 overwatch of your people's activity in the training platform. Is that stopping you from going with Easton University for your training? You guys are going to be so shocked at how many times that prospect's going to go, well, no, but we're not really happy about it. Which is essentially them telling you, yes, I'm going to do it. Unfortunately, for some reason, when we put our clothes on and get dressed for work, we somehow hold ourselves to these standards that we would never do in our marriage. We would never do with our kids, right? I want to give you guys permission to have real conversations with your prospect. But I want them to be skillful conversations. So when they bring up an objection, realize, hey, it's probably just a complaint. Agree with them, move on. If they bring it up again, ask them for solutions. Make sure you start to peel that onion back. You know, hey, why do you guys want a 6-month contract? Well, we've been burned in the past. Can you give me a specific example of how that was? Yeah. The team they came in, they didn't help us with the installation, and 9 months in, we were paying $150,000 for software, and it still wasn't even installed yet. Now you understand what's going on in that person's world. I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on this? Does that resonate with you? Is this something that you guys have been trying? Is there a specific objection that you're hearing a lot that you want to talk through right now? What are your thoughts on this? And have you seen this either with yourself in the past or with other sales reps where they just go into this, either you don't want that, or this is better, or what can I do to get your business? Hey, I hope you loved the video. If you didn't already subscribe, please consider doing so and leave a comment. I want to hear from you. Give the video a like. That's all I ask. I'll see you on the next one.